What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. So today we're gonna go into a quick video discussing how exactly to mine Ergo. So if you guys haven't seen, I'll put a video in the upper right hand corner talking about how to set up your Ergo wallet. If you guys haven't done that yet, pause this video, go set up your Ergo wallet, and then come on back. So we are going to be swapping over, based off of what you guys voted for, our 12 GPU rig here. This is running on a B250 mining motherboard, and it's currently running 11 470s as well as one 570. So I do have the rig off. I wanted to go through powering this unit up, as I know a lot of you guys have questions on how to power up a unit that has 4 total power supplies, and kind of go through that process a little bit for you, and then we'll jump over to the PC and go over exactly how to swap over. Right now we're on Ravencoin. We are at right about 164 mega hash with this setup, mining Ravencoin currently right now, and it eats through a ton of power and is super hot. And we're gonna flip things. We're gonna go over to mining Ergo, which is on the Autolykos algorithm, which is very little power, which is insane. And then on top of that, the heat is super minimal because of that, the lower amount of power that it uses. So we are going to flip from a yin to a yang here, Ravencoin to Ergo. So let's go ahead and do that. So the first thing you do on a setup like this, these HP power supplies here and one down here, they power the risers and the GPUs. So we're going to power these up first. Okay, so that has power running now to the risers and also all of the graphics cards. You can see lights on the risers here. Some of my cards do have the Sapphire name and LED. Those are the Sapphire Nitros, versus some of these are the Sapphire Nitro, but they're the OEM. So they're kind of the brown box version. So then the last thing you do is power on your ATX power supply, which powers just my board actually, and the solid state drive. And then the last thing we do is we go ahead and power it on. And there we go. We're off to the races now. Our CPU is back in here, is powered up, and all of our cards are now powering on. So let's go ahead and jump over to the computer, and we'll go over what we're mining currently right now with this setup, and then we'll go ahead and swap things over to Ergo and go from there. Alrighty guys, so we are over in HIVEOS currently right now. We are going, I'm going to do some maintenance on my rig, so 2 of the rigs are actually off right now, and we just powered these other ones up. But I have been mining Ergo on that, my test bench. If you guys have seen some of my videos, I do have a test bench. It's just a one GPU setup, and right now I'm testing out this 1060 because it just doesn't hash very high. It's a Zotac 1066 gig, and it's got this Micron GDDR5X memory in it, and it performs at about 3/4 of what everything else does, like other 1060s, EVGA and stuff like that. So I've been kind of playing around with it a little bit. I swapped it over to Ergo to kind of test it out a little bit. Isn't doing well. We'll just put it that way. So anyways, swapping back over here to our big Colossus rig. This is our 12 GPU rig. This is what we just went ahead and powered on. I'll go ahead and show you guys exactly what we're looking at here. So we are mining Ravencoin currently on it. We are using the miner Team Red miner. We have 11 total RX 470s. We have a variety of Samsung. We have Hynix, we have El Padilla memory, so a little bit of everything. And then on top of that, we finally have right in the middle here an RX 570. So the 570 definitely performs a tad bit better on Ravencoin, but it does use significantly more power. As you guys can see over here, it's using 117 watts right now. And it is at the height of what these other cards are. All of these cards currently do use and have used the Polaris BIOS editor. So these are beefed up quite a bit to start with for their timings and stuff like that. I actually can hear it in the background, the fans starting to take off here before they settle. So what we're going to do today is we're going to swap this rig over to Ergo. Now, as I said before, if you guys have not set up your Ergo wallet and you're following this guide step by step to get your setup set up, pause the video, go set up your Ergo wallet via my other video. I'll put a link in the upper right hand corner and also down in the description below, and then come on back and we can continue along the way. So we're currently mining Ravencoin, as we talked about. So we're going to go ahead and stop mining here. Now, we're going to stick with Team Red Miner. No issues there. Team Red Miner is great for AMD cards. I've had great success with it. The only thing that we're going to have to really look at is overclock settings. So overclock settings for Ravencoin are going to be completely different, just like Ethereum or Ethereum Classic. The overclock settings are different depending on what you mine. So especially flip sides here, something like Ravencoin, which is super power hungry, versus something like Ergo, which is doesn't use much power at all. And also with Ergo, my understanding is that Ergo is very memory intensive. So that's kind of different than Ravencoin and a lot of these other coins. So swapping over to the Autolykos algorithm is definitely going to be different. So what I wanted to do first, before we swap over, we stop the miner, we're going to give it time to cool, is we're going to come over here and go to what to mine. And we're going to put in, traditionally, if we were to do 11 470s and 1 570, it's going to say that Kapow puts us at 150 and 1810 is where we're at. So we're actually at 164 and we're at 1100 for Kapow. So now if we did, now it looks like Autolykos, based off of just the bare bones stats, puts us at 622 mega hash and 1,320 watts. So we're definitely going to challenge that. But if I go ahead and do calculate, you could see Ravencoin right now goes ahead and puts me at $16.37 for that 12 GPU rig a day, and puts us at Autolykos at $14.18. I'm sorry, Ravencoin and then Ergo. The algorithm is Kapow and the algorithm is Autolykos. So a decent, not too bad, under $2 difference between the two. So it could go either direction. I am eager to come back in here and adjust these configurations once we get this up and running to see exactly what we're at. So it looks like if we, okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to go back to our rig. It has stopped mining. We're going to go into our flight sheet and we are going to unset the flight sheet. That just doesn't delete it. It just removes it from being in place. Hence why at the upper left-hand corner, it says missing flight sheet. Now we're going to go ahead and create a flight sheet. We're going to select ERG for Ergo. We have already put our wallet in to HIVEOS for Ergo. If you need to, hit add wallet and then fill in the wallet address and then just name it whatever you want. You can ignore everything else. So now it wants us to select a pool. I'm going to go with Nano Pool only because I've used them in the past for other items and I'm very comfortable with them. Once you select Nano Pool, you want to go ahead and select whatever server is closest to you first and then second and apply. Now we're going to go over to miners. So we have two different miners here that we can pick from for Ergo. Nano Miner and SRB Miner. So we're going to go with Nano Miner. I'm more familiar with Nano Miner, so that's why we're going to go with that today. I'm going to hit setup miner config, and it doesn't look like there's anything particular I need to do here. Now, if we find another coin that operates on the same algorithm as Ergo does, which is the Autolykos, we can add it in here and have it mine a second coin. And a lot of the times, if you guys are familiar with ETH and ZIL, a lot of people will mine ETH and then like once an hour, it swaps over to ZIL for a short period of time and then swaps back. So there's some cool videos out there. Take a look at that. So we're going to go ahead and name this. So ERG, I always put miners, and then we're going to put this for the Colossus rig. So I just put the name of the rig after it and we're going to hit create flight sheet. Okay. So our flight sheet's right here. It's good to go, but it's not applied yet. So we need to go back to our worker. We need to select the Colossus rig, which you can see it's missing at flight sheet. And now we're ready to apply it. So we're going to go to flight sheet, We found our, look, ERG miners Colossus. That's the one we just created. And we're going to go ahead and let's apply it. We're going to set it to the moon here, get it mining with the Ravencoin settings first. Then we're going to go ahead and remove it and look at stock. So I'm curious as to what this does with the Ravencoin configuration for mining a Ravencoin overclocks. Then we're going to swap all these to stock, which is a good avenue to go. And then we're going to try some overclock settings. So I'll be back here in just a minute. Alrighty, so we brought up Hive Shell, and it looks like that we are mining and off to the races now. Hive with a nano miner, it's not as appealing to the eye when you want to go ahead and read through this. So it shows us that our GPUs are about 58 mega hash right now, based on, you know, give or take. So let's swap over to HIVEOS, a little easier to look at. Okay, cool. So right now, you can see each of our cards, our RX 570s are right around 58 mega hash. And so very consistent, actually, as you guys can see, 58.4, so 58.45, 46. And then our highest one here, look at the difference, bumps up to quite a few here, is our RX 570 is up to 61, which is great. So this is actually going to put us at 704 mega hash. So let's swap over here. So we're going to do 704. Now this is just off of the Ravencoin config. And then our watts, all estimates, guys, 720. We're just going off of the estimates here. So we have our Kapow info in. We have our Autolykos info in. Let's hit calculate now. All right, cool. So look at that. So now in our current state with the same settings that we used for Ravencoin. So these are neck and neck. You can see here that we are mining a little under, we're mining 44, we're mining, not too bad, you know, a little under $1, about 80 cents difference more for Ergo right now. So Ergo is more profitable than Ravencoin. And that really comes down to, honestly, is the wattage. I mean, 720 watts, because you have to remember what to mine takes into account not only how much mega hash that you're piping, but also your wattage, because the wattage is important. If you guys haven't used what to mine before, on the left-hand side, there's a cost area. You need to add in what you're paying per kilowatt so that it makes the best educated decision. If you don't pay for power, then just go ahead and eliminate it. So here, if I eliminate this and hit calculate, now not keeping that into mine, I can make a little bit more per day off of these. But in my situation, I pay for power. So I want to make sure that I do keep that up and running. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy down these configs real quick with a screenshot, because I hate to lose these, this configuration here. And I'm also going to, what I'm going to do is, if you come into overclocking, I'm going to go ahead and copy this here and save it. Okay, so now it's completely separate, which is great. We're now going to go ahead and we're going to create one more of these. You can copy these. These are like your configs. Oh yeah, I'm going to set this to Ravencoin because that's what we were using it for. Does it do yeah, there we go. Okay, so we have our Ravencoin one, which they're identical, but one to go ahead and separate them up. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply this one. So this is all I'm doing, guys, is just setting the overclock settings. So I'm setting the exact settings that exist right now, and then I'm going to clear it. I'm going to wipe it and use the default and wipe it to defaults and see what we get with defaults. And then we can go ahead and kind of adjust things for the Autolykos. Okay, so that's done. So now I'm going to click up here and we're going to go ahead and let's see, what do I want to do? How do I want to do this? I can't apply that one. So we're going to take this one, Autolykos, here we go. Okay, we're going to clear all of our settings right now. Everything we got for all of our cards. All these tweaks, take that off. We're going to take this off. We're going to save it. So Autolykos just has like nothing. And we're now going to apply this to our rig. I wanted to save these settings so I can quickly swap to them as need be. So now we are going to go ahead and apply these, and let's give this a minute and see exactly what this comes back with. with stock overclock settings. Okay, guys, so it looks like we actually are doing, it's interesting. We're now higher. So we're at 758. So we've gained about 58 mega hash off of going to the stock settings. But look at our consumption. We've gone up significantly. Let's see, 300 watts. So if you come over here, some of the stuff to look at and consider, 758 and it was 1100 watts. Calculate. Okay, it's still winning out here, a little bit less per day, but still makes sense to mine Autolykos. This is crazy. So the next thing I want to do is I'm interested to see if there's any popular overclock settings out there yet. So let's go into our let's see here. Where am I going? Top right and popular presets. I want to see if anyone's got anything out there yet. It's just so I don't have to reinvent the wheel. Okay, so there is some out here. Decent amount of cardinality. Look at this core, 1320 core. And interesting. Now, the only thing I don't like about popular presets in HIVEOS is that it doesn't really give you a lot outside of core and memory. AMD cards are very DPM reliant, and that helps. That's pretty much like your power limiter if you're an NVIDIA fan and you come over. DPM is huge in some of those settings, so I'll show you here. So let's go ahead and take this, and we're going to apply that to here and to here. Now, the one thing, we'll just test this for now. Now, as you guys can see, there's a lot more settings in here for AMD. You have things like memory control voltage, core voltage, your memory state. For RX cards, you want to set this to a 1 in order to get the best out of it. In addition to that, you have power limit. It's not something you utilize as much on with AMD cards at all. Our fan speeds will keep the same. We want to go ahead and select aggressive undervolts for that. It works hand in hand with that. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and apply this. Now we do have a 570 in this mix, so we might have to do a custom overclock setting for the 570 because the 570 seems to run significantly different. It's at 65, almost 66 mega hash here. So let's go ahead and get this overclock settings applied, and we'll check back to see kind of what we're looking like. Okay, so I went in while I was waiting into the 570, and there is a popular preset, actually a decent amount for this coin, Ergo, for the 570, 66 cardinality. So I went ahead and applied that one. So the 570 has a different, if you guys look, all my other cards have the same overclock settings, and then you hit the 570, it's a little bit different. So based off of that, when we come over here, you can see right now we're at 821 mega hash. Now we've got some concerning temps. We're getting up there. So 821 net, but we've bumped up our wattage, 1377. So if we come over here, what we're at here, 821 and 1377, 821, 1377. So right now we're using more watts now actually than Ravencoin in this configuration. But look at us, we're almost at $20 a day right now, which is great. We are bumping up there. So as of right, and I mean, temps are a little concerning. We'll have to kind of figure out how we keep these a little bit cooler. I think that's because of how high we are. We're way over 100 here with a lot of these, so we have to find some avenues to bump these down a little bit to see what we can do to kind of. So what I want to do is come into core voltage. That's my next step. So with your AMD cards, this is where you're going to go ahead and set like 900 or something. So we're going to cap this right away at 900. I want to see, we were at what, 69, somewhere within 69 here, it looks like. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to cut this off at 900. And I want to see, give it a second. And I want to see if that keeps our hash rate. Well, we got a few over 70. Wow. And we're going to see if that brings that wattage down. We were at 13 something, so we'll see what happens. All right, so checking back in, look at the difference. I set my wattage, wow, this is insane. Okay, so I set my core voltage to 900, Look what this has done. Look at my watts. I'm at 599. I've cut my watts in half. In half. And we've still, now granted, we've dropped some hash rate, but that's okay. I've literally cut my energy usage in half, and I've dropped, I'd say, let's round it, 5 mega hash total. This 1470 is freaking phenomenal. 61, heck yeah. Looking good. Some of these other 470s are 59. Look at this top one, 67. Wow, it varies so much per card. This is pretty nutty. My 1570 is actually only at 60. Interesting. What if I ran that? I'm going to run that the same at, let me try to run that the same as some of these other ones. 13, 20, and 19. Okay, we'll see what we get. But yeah, other than that, I mean, this is, let's take a look here. So 753 and 599. So if I come over here, 753, 599, that's a huge difference, guys. Okay, 1873, 753, 599, and yeah, okay. So we're still up at 1873, which is great. We're looking good, and we're hashing really well. I mean, this is pretty dang good. I mean, right now it is more profitable for me to run this 100%. I mean, especially from a wattage perspective. I mean, I'm using less electricity, my hash rate's higher, and I'm earning more per day mining Ergo than I am Ravencoin. So anyways, guys, hopefully this was super helpful to you. This went 10 times longer. I feel like I say that in every video now. But I wanted to really get into the weeds on overclocking with Ergo, because people just swapping from Ravencoin to Ergo, or swapping from Ethereum to Ergo and then calling it a day is not smart, as you guys can see. Big difference between my Ravencoin overclock settings versus my Ergo overclock settings. Pretty big, pretty big. Anyways, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.